My name's Karina Mania and I finished uni back in 2003 and I did first 3 years of human movement and then I did a 4th year of exercise rehab science. So yeah, I finished at UWA and I've been working in the industry since then. At the moment I'm working as an exercise physiologist and specifically I'm working in the exercise rehab field in a private industry where we do workers' comp and motor vehicle. With exercise physiology there's a lot of other areas that people can go into as well. You know, people can go into like sports management, some people work on mine sites, people can do like cardiac rehabilitation or vocational rehabilitation and people get back to work. But with my role specifically it's purely just like injury rehabilitation and exercise prescription for injured workers. When I was growing up and when I was like in early high school, I did weightlifting for a long time and my coach that I had with weightlifting had done human movement as well and had gone on, and he was more doing like coaching of elite athletes, and that was sort of something I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do human movement, and I wanted to do sort of the elite athlete type of strength and conditioning. But then the more I went through uni and the more that I did, I sort of looked and realised that you could sort of achieve more by helping people who were injured with a recovery rather than trying to sort of make someone run a couple of seconds faster. It was just sort of seemed more rewarding for me to do that rehab process rather than the other side of things. Well, the positives of my job, probably the biggest one is actually helping people rehabilitate themselves. So sometimes we get people who have had surgery or, you know, they're completely, you know, off work for a long time, and obviously it's really beneficial and it's really rewarding if you can help people get back to work and get back to their pre-injury self. In terms of probably the main negative is obviously there's a big stigma that's associated with workers' compensation and motor vehicle patients where, you know, people sometimes think it's not always legitimate and that sort of thing. So you've always got sort of a little bit of a battle in terms of, you know, that stigma that is attached to it. Sometimes I've had patients who are like really quite severely injured, where you get them sort of when they're still in a cast. Like I had one patient who had this huge big load of things fall off a forklift onto his leg and pretty much break his knee and fracture his femur. It was a really horrific thing. So when we first got him, he'd just sort of had this big frame taken off him and he could barely like weight bear or walk or anything like that. So pretty much getting him started in the pool so he could start weight bearing and start moving again, and then, you know, getting him after that into a gym program and being able to sort of, you know, completely weight bear through his leg, and then, you know, be able to cycle and, you know, do more walking on the treadmill and, you know, leg presses and squatting and those sorts of things. So more or less just sort of making those progressions. So someone who sort of comes in crutches and has like no muscle tone left, you know, obviously you can help them get back to where they were. So within my job there is no real set hours. It's more or less when the patients need to be seen. So there is a lot of early mornings and late evenings because that's when a lot of people want them. But obviously you've got the flexibility then in the middle of the day as well. Yeah, so from that point of view, you know, my job's good with that, the flexibility of the hours. In terms of the careers, definitely the place to look at the different university websites and seeing what they offer and what sort of the scores to get in are, and also those prerequisites, you know, seeing if you need the human bio or the physics as well to get in, and also looking on the ACE website. So our association is really good. It sort of gives you an idea. It sort of updates on jobs and those sorts of things, what's available. It can tell you what courses are going to be available, you know, sort of coming up as well. So it does give a bit of an idea, and it, you know, it goes into what exercise physiology is and different streams that you can do, whether, you know, you might want to deal with people with metabolic conditions like, you know, diabetes, you know, things like that, or whether you want to go into the cardiac rehab, and it just sort of explains a little bit more about what different things exercise physiology can cover, and obviously, you know, the musculoskeletal that I'm doing as well. And so yeah, definitely the uni websites and the ACE website is helpful in terms of the info that you can get.